afternoon. Welcome to another session of Ask an ECE. We got a few questions asking about how families can incorporate literacy with their child on a day-to-day basis. So today I'm going to show you a few activities that you can do that you can play with them to incorporate this. So first of all, some everyday things that you may already be doing with your child, such as talking, singing, reading, storytelling, they all help to develop your child's literacy. The first activity I'm going to show you is called I Spy Letter Hunt. So if you go to your local dollar store, you should be able to find these magnetic letters. They also come in numbers as well, and they look like this. So if you buy a pack of these, all you need to do is get an empty container. So I just used an empty container here that I'm just recycling. Now, if you don't have a chance to use magnetic letters that you can get at the dollar store, you can also make your own. So I've just made some here out of construction paper. We also laminated them, but if you don't have a laminator, that should be okay. So we just have some letters in here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put those letters into the container, and it's just as easy as asking your child what you spy and for them to look for it. So I'm going to say something like, I spy with my little eye, the letter B. And they're gonna have to go in and dig in and find that letter B. Now, another thing you can do is you can also incorporate books with this activity. So we actually happen to have a book called I Spy. And so when you turn the pages open, it says things like, I spy a shoe and a cowboy hat. So your child is going to have to search for that shoe and a cowboy hat. Now, of course, if you don't have this book at home, you can easily play this game with any book that you have that is your child's, that is a picture book. So here I have an alphabet book. It can be any picture book, and you can say things such as, I spy with my little eye something that is gray. And then they can point out the elephant, and you can say, I see the elephant. I spy with my little eye the letter E. And then you can have them point out the letters to you. Now you can also extend this activity, as you can see I had mentioned the colors. So when you're asking them to find the letters, you can also ask them to find the colors as well. So you can definitely do this with any book that you have at home, whether or not it's a book about the alphabet or any picture book that you have. Also, to make it fun, you can also pick up a magnifying glass from the dollar store as well. And so when you're playing I Spy with the letters, you can have them use their magnifying glass looking for their letters. Now, the next activity we have is called alphabet fishing. So the same concept, you're going to take your container with your letters. So I actually have a bigger container here, and it just has all my magnetic letters. I've mixed it in. I have a few numbers in here. Now, another thing you can pick up from the dollar store are magnets. So usually where they have a lot of their educational things, sometimes they will sell magnets. So if you find magnets, you can have them go alphabet fishing. So you can say something like, let's try fishing for something green. So they're gonna go in there and they're gonna go fishing for something green. So they're going to put their magnet here, and let's see. It's having a little trouble sticking on. Here we go. They have the letter I, so you can have them recognize what letter they catch. You can also let them use their magnets and catch what they would like with their magnets. So let's see here. And so once they've caught a letter, you can have them recognize what that letter is and tell you what it is. And of course, you can always extend that by asking them what color it is. I have the letter G. All right. Now, of course, if you don't have any magnets, you can also use anything that you have on hand. I have clothespins here, so you can ask them to go fishing for that with the letters. If you don't have the magnetic letters, you can have them go fishing with the paper letters that you make. And then it just makes it a fun activity that they can go ahead and grab the letters. And you can just as easily use your hands and have them fish for the letters that you want them to find. You can also have them recognize the letters of their name by asking them to go fishing for the letters of their name that they find in your container of letters. So the next activity that you can make at home is with Lego. So some of my friends might have some of the smaller Lego at home or some of the bigger Lego at home. These are the Duplo blocks. Now all you need to do is to use a dry erase marker. If you write onto the Lego itself, it will wipe off just with a wet cloth. So what I've done here is I've just written a child's name on here. I've written the name Sam. So what you can do is you can write the alphabet on a bunch of letters, and you can have them sort out the letters and ask them to start building their name. Now, if they're unsure, if they're at that age where they're just learning the letters, you can go ahead and write their name onto a piece of paper or onto a board where they can see it, and then they can go ahead and spell out the letters of their name with what they see. So if you ask them to spell Sam, they are going to need S-A-N-M. And it's fun for them because they'll be able to build and play while they're learning and recognizing the letters of the alphabet. So I also have it on here, I've written the word dog. So you can use simple sight words, 3-letter words or 2-letter words that they can easily learn how to spell and sound out and recognize the letters of those words. You can also use little Lego pieces that you may have at home. So over here, I've done the same thing. I've written the word cat and I've written the word dog. So if you just split it up, they'll be able to build it on their own. You can also use a bigger piece of Lego or Duplo piece, and you can have them have their name written on. So I have the name Sam on here, and then you can write the rest of the alphabet on different pieces of the Lego, and they can go ahead and find the letters that they recognize on here, S-A-M, so they can go ahead and write and spell their name out with the Lego with the letters that they see onto here. Now that's a fun activity that you can also incorporate numbers with, and the great thing with using Lego and Duplo pieces with a dry erase marker is that you can continually change it up. You can wipe off the letters and do new words that you might be learning during that time, or you can put maybe 6 letters of the alphabet first, and then once your child has become familiar with those letters, then you can wipe those off and then add in new letters that they can start learning. So another fun activity and super simple, something you definitely probably have at home, is a SALT alphabet tray. So all you're going to need for that is you can use a baking tray or even a plate if you have it. I just have here this wooden tray here. So all you want to do is pour some salt onto the plate. Now I have some friends who have sand that they might have had playing in the backyard during the summer. You can also use that, but you can just simply use the salt that you have at home, and you can have your child recognize the letters of their name or with the alphabet. So you can ask them, can you trace the letter A? And so what they can do is just use their fingers and encourage them to write the letters of the alphabet, or for them to start learning how to spell the letters of their name. You can also incorporate books. So if you have some picture books here, you can open up to a page. So let's see here. Ooh, I see the letter F. Can you trace out the letter F? So you can place the book right beside the tray, and you just shake this up, and then they can trace out the letter F. And that's a fun activity that you can incorporate any time of the day. I find this is a great activity to do also on a rainy day when you're looking for indoor things to do. So that is a fun thing that you can incorporate as much as you want with simple activities, and so that you don't waste it, you can always put the salt into a Ziploc bag, and that is the salt that you use whenever you're playing this activity with your child. So lastly, I have clothespin matching game. Again, such an easy and simple concept. if you happen to have any wooden clothespin lying around at home, or you can simply get these at the dollar store, what you can do is write the letters of the alphabet onto them. And the same concept, you can have them see their name on an item, on a piece of paper. I just have it here on this Duplo block here. And you can encourage them to find the letters of the alphabet on the clothespin, and then they can simply spell it out as they recognize the letters of their name. You can also use these clothespins when you're looking through books. So for example, if you're reading with your child, you can encourage them to find the letter of the alphabet that matches with the letter that you see in the book. So they can just pin it on here. I see the letter J and I have the clothespin with the letter J. You also would like to encourage your child to read to you. Even if they're not obviously reading at their age, having them read to you is just a way for them to practice and exercise the vocabulary that they already have. So some pointers that I'd like to mention when you're reading books is to try to read the same book over and over, especially if it's a book that your child really, really enjoys and has repetitious words. That way your child will be able to recognize the words and the letters, and before you know it, they're going to be able to spell out the letters of that word. And simple words such as cats, hi, and dog. And another tip is you can also label items in your house. So simple everyday tools that you use in your house, such as a toothbrush or shoes or their mittens in the winter, if you label them, it's as simple as writing it on a piece of paper and taping it on close to where they hang their coats and they put their mittens and their boots. Soon you can incorporate this into your daily routine and say, let's go put on our boots. Look at the letter of, let's look at the letters to spell out the word boots, B-O-O-T. Now, the more that they see it, the more they're going to be able to incorporate the words and as well the vocabulary and the letters into their everyday communication. And also use new words. So when you're reading a book, and if there's a word that you know that your child may not necessarily know already, try to incorporate it into their vocabulary. So where's the worm? What's a worm? I see a worm in the book. And before you know it, you're going to hear your child incorporate that into their vocabulary as well. So lastly, I wanted to show something really neat with the holiday season coming up. We have an activity that we put out for our children that you can find at your local bookstore, or you can order it online, and it is called a Buddha board. Now, it can be used for children and adults alike, but what we found with children is that they've had so much fun with this, and it's so great for letter recognition. So what it incorporates is just this canvas over here, but all you need is water. And you put the water into the container here, and you can encourage them to write letters of the alphabet on here. They can write the letters of their name. And it's great for the adults because there is no mess. It looks like paint to them. They are practicing fine motor skills because they are using their fingers in the way that they are going to be learning when they start to write. And this activity has been a great hit within the center when we are open. The kids just love this. Now again, if you aren't able to get something like this, it's the same thing as incorporating the alphabet if you have paint or if you have writing tools, just something incorporating creativity, but at the same time they are learning. So that concludes some activities that you can do with your child to incorporate literacy in your day-to-day routine with your children. I will mention the book here that I wanted to point out, the I Spy books that are so great for children when they are pointing out letters and words and objects. And this is by Jean Marzolo and photographs by Walter Wick, and it is a scholastic book. So if you type in I Spy books online, surely these will come up, and these are just great for any age, and you can always extend the activities with your child. So even if they're toddlers, they can point out the colors and the objects, and as your child grows older, they can point out the letters and even the spelling of the words. I hope you can join us again next week for another Ask an ECE. If you have any questions or comments, you can definitely leave them below or send us a message on our messenger. We'll see you again. Bye.